For centuries, humanity has searched the skies, wondering when the final call will come, a call that will split time itself, divide the living from the vanished, and mark the greatest exodus the world has ever known. It is a mystery whispered through prophecy, concealed within ancient scrolls, and long debated among the wisest of scholars. They call it the rapture of the church. But what if the rapture isn't just a sudden escape? What if it's part of a divine architecture, an invisible blueprint carefully laid out before the foundations of the world, a plan hidden in plain sight, waiting for its appointed hour to unfold? Before the dawn of history, before the first breath of man, a sequence was written, a pattern of deliverance. Every generation has witnessed echoes of it, from Noah and his family lifted above the flood, to Lot escaping the fire that consumed Sodom, to Enoch, who walked with God and suddenly was not found. Each was a shadow of something greater, a rehearsal of a final moment that would one day shake the earth. It is said that the rapture will be that moment, the climax of divine rescue, when an unseen hand draws millions from the grip of time. Not an event of chaos, but of completion, a hidden plan, revealed only to those whose eyes are open. Imagine this: a quiet morning, cities alive with routine, traffic lights blinking, conversations flowing, children laughing on their way to school. And then, without warning, silence. Not the silence of peace, but of absence. Airplanes without pilots, cars without drivers, homes without voices. It sounds like a myth, yet the concept of a sudden global disappearance has persisted through ancient writings, through visions and parables, across cultures and generations. Why? Because deep within the human soul lies an awareness that this world is temporary, that something beyond the visible realm is about to unfold. Every prophecy carries a clock, a countdown that ticks not in seconds, but in signs. And throughout history, those signs have been gathering momentum. Wars that reshape nations, technology that mirrors omniscience, knowledge multiplying faster than time can contain it, and the moral compass of humanity slowly spinning out of control. To the unaware, these are headlines. To the watchful, they are signals, threads of a divine countdown approaching zero. What many fail to realize is that the rapture isn't about fear, it's about fulfillment. It is the completion of a covenant, the moment when the author calls his characters home. Hidden within ancient texts are coded patterns, often overlooked, moments where time seemed to fold upon itself, where divine intervention interrupted human history. Consider this. In every act of deliverance, there was a moment of separation. Before judgment came, the chosen were always removed. Before destruction fell, a remnant was always preserved. This pattern is no accident. It is a divine fingerprint, a consistent sign that before the storm, there is always an escape. The rapture, therefore, is not a new invention. It is the ultimate expression of that same principle, an event that marks the close of grace and the beginning of unveiling. Across ages, skeptics have called it impossible. Philosophers have called it symbolic. But prophecy has called it inevitable. And in every age, there have been those who felt the tremors, those who sense that something beyond comprehension is stirring again. The question is not if it will happen, but when. And perhaps more importantly, why now? In our modern world, the concept of disappearance is often seen through the lens of science fiction, aliens, quantum jumps, parallel dimensions. But what if those ideas are only distorted reflections of a spiritual reality? What if the truth has been known all along, written not in algorithms, but in ancient prophecy, a mystery encoded not in computer code, but in divine DNA? The blueprint was never hidden from heaven. It was hidden from the eyes of those not watching. In the unseen realm, movement begins before manifestation. Long before the world sees change, heaven prepares the stage. Voices begin to echo through eternity. It is time. Messengers are dispatched, aligning sequences, awakening souls. And somewhere deep within human consciousness, hearts begin to stir with an unfamiliar urgency. Dreams intensify, visions increase. A quiet sense of something coming spreads among believers and skeptics alike. Could this be the prelude, the soft thunder before the final trumpet? And so, as this story unfolds, we step closer to understanding the greatest mystery of all, a moment when mortality will be exchanged for immortality, when the visible world will be pierced by the invisible, when heaven and earth will converge in a single instant. This is not fiction. It is not fantasy. It is prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. The rapture of the church, the revelation of God's plan that will shock the world. The blueprint has been revealed. The countdown has begun.
Across the ages, prophecy has spoken of a moment unlike any other, a moment when time itself will fracture and the boundaries between heaven and earth will collapse in an instant. This is the Great Disappearance. A divine intervention so swift, so unimaginable, that no human system will be able to explain it. In that moment, millions across the world will vanish, not in chaos, but in completion. A silent extraction, a divine evacuation, orchestrated by unseen hands. For those left behind, the world will stand still, searching for answers in confusion and fear. News stations will flood the air with panic. Scientists will scramble for explanations, gravitational anomalies, mass hallucinations, alien abductions. But the truth will not be found in laboratories or telescopes. The truth will already be written in Scripture, sealed within ancient promises that have waited thousands of years for this very hour. The rapture is not a myth of escape. It is a revelation of divine order. It is the moment when those marked by faith are drawn out, before the earth steps into its darkest chapter. This is not the end of the world. It is the end of grace as we know it. For centuries, this mystery has been hidden from the understanding of the proud, yet revealed to the humble who watched and waited. The Great Disappearance will not come with warning. It will not be announced by governments or predicted by prophets on television. It will arrive as quietly as a thief in the night. One moment here, the next moment gone. Every sound, every heartbeat, every breath will freeze for a fraction of time as eternity breaks through the fabric of mortality. The laws of nature will bend under divine command. The atmosphere will respond to an invisible frequency, a call only the redeemed can hear. And in that instant, gravity itself will lose its claim. The mortal will become immortal. The corruptible will be clothed with incorruption. Bodies transformed, rising not by wings, but by divine command. For the first time since creation, heaven and earth will synchronize in perfect harmony as the bride meets the bridegroom. The world below will witness the aftermath, clothes left behind, devices still glowing, unfinished messages on screens. A silence so thick it will echo through cities. Some will fall to their knees in realization. Others will harden their hearts in denial. Governments will assemble emergency briefings, releasing statements crafted to control panic. But deep within, the truth will whisper, "They are gone." Those who laughed will remember the words they once mocked. Those who doubted will recall the warnings they dismissed. And as the world adjusts to the new silence, a new narrative will rise, one that will try to replace truth with deception. The Great Disappearance will be both a revelation and a test, a line drawn between belief and rebellion. It will mark the beginning of an age where faith will no longer be by sight, but by survival. Yet even in the darkness that follows, the light of truth will not be extinguished. There will still be voices, those who realize what has happened, who turn back to the very message they once ignored. But they will walk a harder path, one paved with trials the world has never seen. As heaven celebrates reunion, earth will enter a season of reckoning. Systems will collapse, economies will tremble, the balance of power will shift overnight. And through the chaos, a single voice will rise from the ashes, promising peace, unity, and hope. But that peace will come at a price. The stage will be set for the emergence of the one foretold, the deceiver, the counterfeit savior who will offer stability while binding the world in chains. Yet the great disappearance is not meant to inspire fear, but awareness. It is proof that the divine plan moves with precision, not delay. Every sign, every prophecy, every warning converges toward that moment when the trumpet sounds. No technology can stop it, no power can delay it, no empire can contain it. The great disappearance will be the world's greatest mystery and heaven's greatest victory. It will confirm once and for all that eternity has never been silent, only patient. And when it finally happens, the world will remember these words: "They were taken because they were ready. The others remained because they were not." The rapture is not an ending, it is the beginning of fulfillment, a transition from faith to sight, from promise to possession. The great disappearance will mark the close of mercy's window and the opening of revelation's door. And as the dust settles and the stars continue to shine above a shaken world, one truth will echo through eternity: the King has called his own. The plan has unfolded. The countdown has reached zero, and nothing will ever be the same again.
In the blink of an eye, everything will change. The earth will still spin, the wind will still blow, the oceans will still move, but the world will no longer be the same. This is the moment of transformation, the instant when eternity collides with time and humanity witnesses the fulfillment of a plan that began before creation itself. For those taken, the transition will be beyond comprehension, one heartbeat in the physical, the next in the eternal. A light more brilliant than the sun, a sound not heard by ears but by the soul, a resonance that draws the spirit upward in perfect peace. No fear, no confusion, only the overwhelming realization that the promise has come true. This is not a dream. It is the moment the faithful have long awaited, the final stage of divine restoration. In that instant, what was once corruptible will be made incorruptible. What was once bound to dust will rise in glory. Every limitation of human existence will dissolve as divine power rewrites the laws of being. Bodies will be changed, minds renewed, hearts ignited with the full awareness of the Creator's presence. Every tear remembered, every struggle redeemed. For the first time, humanity will truly understand what it means to be complete. On earth, time will continue, but reality will fracture. The absence of millions will send shockwaves across governments, religions, and cultures. Some will call it a cosmic event, others a punishment. Yet as confusion reigns, the heavens will celebrate. The reunion of the redeemed, gathered in a realm untouched by sorrow or decay. They will stand in wonder, clothed in immortality, surrounded by a brilliance that no artist could ever paint. It will be the greatest moment of realization, that faith was never in vain, that love was never forgotten, and that every sacrifice made for truth was seen and recorded. In the courts of heaven, there will be no night, no fear, no separation, only the harmony of creation restored to its Creator. And as the redeemed stand before the one they long to see, understanding will flood their hearts. The mystery of suffering will be unraveled. The questions of life will find their answers. Every hidden thread will connect in perfect symmetry, revealing the beauty of the plan they once struggled to comprehend. Meanwhile, the earth below will enter its most defining hour. The age of grace will have ended, and a new chapter of revelation will begin. Those who remain will face the consequences of a world without restraint, where truth is rare and deception reigns. Yet even then, mercy will whisper, reaching for those still willing to listen. The message of salvation will not die. It will echo through chaos, calling the lost to redemption, though the cost will now be greater. The moment of transformation marks more than escape, it marks transition. It is the fulfillment of divine justice and divine love converging at once. Heaven will no longer be distant, and eternity will no longer be invisible. The Creator's design will stand revealed in all its brilliance. Those who were mocked for their faith will shine as stars in the firmament. Those who endured ridicule will wear crowns unseen by earthly eyes. Their story will no longer be one of endurance, but of victory. And as they stand in the light of eternity, they will understand the weight of one simple truth, that the rapture was never about escape, but about union, about a Creator reclaiming His creation. For centuries, this day has been awaited, written about, debated, and dismissed. But when it arrives, there will be no doubt, no debate, no denial. The trumpet will sound, and the line between seen and unseen will dissolve forever. The universe itself will bear witness to the moment of transformation, the day the mortal became immortal, and the invisible plan of God unfolded before the eyes of all creation. The earth will remember the day the world changed forever, but heaven will call it something else. The day of reunion, the day of fulfillment, the day love finally took its own home. The rapture of the church will stand as the revelation that shocked the world, but to those who believed, it was the promise that completed eternity. The countdown has ended. The plan has been fulfilled, and now, forever begins.